A double dose of happy talk fueling some investor optimism.
It's obviously good news.
I'm reasonably positive.
Certainly, the avoidance of a government shutdown is positive news.
You should see this deal go through.
From a global cyclical story, I think the potential outcome of developments at the end of the week, we probably won't get a firm outcome, but how those negotiations go is, I think, far more important for a strong global risk-on type rally.
The US-China trade deal is absolutely key.
As long as we avoid any escalation in tariff rates, I think then that can be taken quite well by the markets.
Get a trade deal, then some of the businesses that have put stuff on hold, stop spending, they will start spending again. We can be more confident about a global recovery.
Joining me around the table here in New York, Tony Dwyer, Canaccord Genuity Chief Market Strategist, Phil Guarco, JPMorgan Private Bank Global Investment Specialist, and Bloomberg's very own Lisa Abramowicz. So guys, the difficulty every morning is always to draw a distinction between noise, news, substance and happy talk. This morning feels a whole lot like happy talk, particularly on the trade front. Maybe not so much on the border security funding story, which we'll get to in a moment, but there's an element of happy talk in the mix here, Lisa.
Happy talk. What do you mean by happy talk? Basically, people like talking things up.
Every now and then, the president or the president's team comes out and says, we want a deal. It's going to be a good deal.
Fair enough. My question is, are markets buying at this time? I don't know.
Apparently so in the equity market.
But you know what? How do you parse out, what's the happy talk? Are we talking about the shutdown, the avoidance of another shutdown, which a lot of people were saying is actually potentially more damaging than the first time around just because we're that much closer to the debt ceiling negotiations. So it kind of brings in a more serious discussion here. So perhaps that is the happy talk. With trade talks, there is a question of, what can get done, whether it'll be enough. Yes, people just want the certainty. But right now, the fact that the government's closer to not shutting down, probably the happy talk that markets are responding to.
And a bit of substance there too, Tony, on the government shutdown. It looks like we do have a deal. Whether the president approves it or not remains to be seen. But it looks like we have an agreement between congressional lawmakers on the Democrat side and the Republicans too.
Yeah, nobody's going to be happy, but what I think it does do is you've had this feeling in D.C. that there's never going to be an agreement on anything. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are going to hate on Trump and vice versa, and everything's off the table. And this actually shows there could be a little bit of negotiation that might act, or compromise, more importantly, John, compromise that might actually take place.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I think the big thing here is that we may be having some happy talk, but Powell changed the fundamentals. We went from Powell being the Grinch who stole Christmas to spreading cheer amidst the world.
This feels like happy talk right now, Phil. What is this?
Well, a little bit. In that financial conditions.
You're like Grinch. You're like, too much happy talk. Make it stop.
We got to turn you green.
Is that right?
Yeah. But he made financial conditions get better.
He did.
So, we're adding on some happy talk here. But I don't want to underestimate what's going on with China. But, even if this goes on for a long time, we had a Cold War with Russia, and saying we have a cold trade war now. But that went on from 46 to 89, and markets did okay. Thank you very much.